Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to joining us this morning. My name is Miriam Ogutu. The show is Kenya and Africa at a glance, and on the show today we do have so much in store for you. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in today. I shall take us through the headlines from the leading newspapers in Kenya, and then just a bit of them from the rest of Africa, and we will start our conversation after I've introduced my panelists in a short while. We start with the Star newspaper, and the main headline, Uhuru to DP, no pushover as he defends term. Kenyatta says you cannot build the nation by endless politicking on top of campaign bans. The story is on page 4 and 5 on the Star newspaper. And then Azimio appoints Waikenda as head of protocol for 2022 race. That is on page 7. And Raila's ODM to conduct digital party primaries. I don't know how that's going to work. I know we really are trying to embrace this technology. But when it comes to party primaries, perhaps Daniel Wasonga might, explain to me, because that sounds like a recipe for disaster there, but that is what, Azimi intends to do, rather ODM. And then we turn our attention to the Daily Nation, and the main headline on the Daily Nation, Uhuru set to endorse Raila at party NDC. President Kenyatta yesterday warned those opposed to the Azimio movement, which has Odinga as the flag bearer, to prepare for a tough battle in the coming days, as he will personally lead the charge. And then just down there, game on, he has blown hot and cold on whether he is going to play an active role in the politics of his succession. And now, the president is folding his shirt sleeves and getting ready for the dance. Yesterday, he told those opposed to Raila's Azimio to prepare for a titanic battle. The story is on page 4 and 5. And beside, just up there, A to Z of Africa Cup of Nations, Senegal's win, endless anguishing wait for Lions of Teranga. The story is on page 2, 3, 38, and 39. And hope and fears at launch of universal health coverage plan, new era for patients, but at what cost? That is the big question. And yesterday we had a bit of a conversation about the same. I think this is a conversation that will continue as we highlight perhaps some of the things that the government keeps doing, and some of the initiatives and some of the supporting, drivers to ensure that the universal health coverage becomes a reality to many, many Kenyans who really need it. And the story is on page 9. And then we turn on to the Standard newspaper. Uhuru hits at Ruto. Jubilee backs Raila. President takes veiled roadside at deputy, says there are leaders who only campaign on top of cars without working. He says he will work with the likes of Joho, a close Raila ally. Move comes as ruling party hints at working with 10 Azimio allies to endorse Raila. That is on page 6, 7, and 8 on the Standard newspaper. Gloria Senegal, sports page 48. Pain and joy of adopting a child. That is on page 17. IBC nets only 1 million voters in second drive. The story is on page 4. And from comfort of State House to political jungle. That is on page 10. And as he launches new healthcare plan, I see Standard has outlined a bit of what is expected. Outpatient benefit package is 1,000 Kenya shillings. What NHIF will pay hospitals for patients to be attended to at level 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Hospitals, private and faith-based hospitals, will be paid 1,200. And dialysis benefit package, 6,500 Kenya shillings proposed rate for comprehensive dialysis package, down from the current 9,500. A national scheme radiology benefit, cost of CT scan is 8,000 Kenya shillings, cost of MRI a scan is 15,000 Kenya shillings. Specialized ultrasound is 3,000 to 15,000 Kenya shillings. And maternity, these are just some of the things that will be covered. And some of them were covered also, but now they're being reviewed. A maternity benefit package, 10,000 Kenya shillings, what NHIF will pay hospitals for mothers to deliver at level 3, 4, 5, and 6 hospitals, and C-section will cost 30,000. So we know that right now, having children or giving birth in public hospitals is free, but it is free for us. But that government is taking care of the cost to ensure that The rates, mortality deaths have gone down. We've seen after the introduction of this very important, health service, and that continues to serve so many other Kenyans that require these services, and days back they were quite expensive. And let's just look at some of the news headlines across the continent. And from Zimbabwe, New Day, chaos as school open. That is what we have. And daily news still from Zimbabwe. Mandundia seeks to caution public. That is what you have. And the Guardian from Nigeria, fuel scarcity, panic buying in Lagos as NATO threatens strike. Okay. And the Punch, still from Nigeria. NIMC telcos meet again, Chinese Nigerians battle falls, subscribers remain stranded. And the New Vision from Uganda, 1 trillion Ugandan shillings ready for NSSF midterm. That is what we have. And Daily Monitor, still from Uganda, a state of torture, even when President Museveni has explicitly demanded that security forces stop torture of suspects to extract information. The violations continue, exposing the government to tighter scrutiny and condemnation both at home and abroad. And I think at the Victoria there, they're showing bodies of 2 people who have been brutalized. I think that is just out of order. But I'm not really surprised. It's Uganda for you. And the Citizen from Tanzania, why building items now cost much more. Manufacturers attribute high prices to a rising demand fueled by projects that are taken with COVID-19 relief funds, but the government says it is nothing but profiteering by traders. Very well. So that is just a bit of what we've heard from some of the papers this morning. So before we get into our topic, perhaps we'll just look at some of this story quickly, and then we get to the main topic. That is what President Kenyatta's speech yesterday in Mombasa during the launch of the universal healthcare. I'll now bring in Daniel Wesonga, our correspondent and in-house analyst from Nairobi. Wesonga, very good morning to you.
Yes, a very, very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu in Nairobi. Good morning to our viewers here in Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa, and the rest of the globe. It is my pleasure to be on the conversation this morning.
Okay, so before we get to what President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday, and we know that is our main topic, let's first look at IEBC. They just concluded, a new voter registration, and just find out if IEBC has missed the target again. Obviously, it has, and by a lot. And the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has recorded the lowest voter registration numbers in the last 3 election cycles. IEBC only managed 1,031,645 new voters after the second phase of the enhanced voter registration came to a close on Sunday. With voter apathy blamed for the low turnout, IEBC, which targeted 6 million in the first phase and 4.5 million in the second phase, fell short of making the registration process lower than that of 2010 referendum, 2013 and 2017 elections. The commission has now directed registration officers in the 219 constituencies to undertake continuous voter registration by deploying 3 BVR kits per constituency. The kits will be stationed at Huduma centers countrywide. According to IEBC, this will be an opportunity for eligible citizens, especially those who will have acquired identity cards after the closure of the ECVR phase 2, to register as voters. And I think that also has a deadline towards the end of this month, because after that IEBC will start clearing and organizing its register. But IEBC fails to meet its target again. I mean, you were expecting that, right?
Absolutely, Miriam. And of course, like we always tell our viewers, is that IEBC with Wafula Chebukati at the helm of it as the chairman is not guaranteed that it's going to hold even a free, fair, and credible election. As it is, Miriam, this is a commission which is being led by someone who has a lot of negligence, someone who has been ordered by the court actually to follow some guidelines and some court directives. and he's still working there outside there free, without even slightest regard to whatever the court ordered in 2017. Remember Wafula Chebukati bangled the 2017 presidential elections, and for Kenyans to entrust him with the forthcoming elections, then that will be a very, very extravagant blunder on the sides of Kenyans. And I believe the signs and the symptoms of another bungled election are actually out there, because you can see they are not even able to conduct and meet even half of the targets that they have set themselves. What guarantees you that they are going to be able to even mobilize enough Kenyans to achieve a higher turnout come 9th of August this year? So to me, Miriam, I believe IBC has failed big time. And remember, this is a body among is the highest that are allocated more bigger funds of national budget, and yet there's nothing forthcoming from whatever Wafula Chebukati does with this money. This is the same commission which is actually still bedeviled by the Chicken Gate scandal. This is the commission which has been accused by the High Court and the Appellate Court of conducting illegal elections, and yet Chebukati is doing nothing about it. What happens if the Supreme Court judges do not collapse the ruling of the High Court and the Appellate Court? It means more than 51 elections that were held by IBC are actually illegal. IBC has been a lackluster commission in terms of carrying out its mandate and duties, and that is why even today the BBI agenda is in court, because IBC flopped in one way or another. And therefore, Miriam, the causes of the problem, electoral problems in this country, starts and ends with IEBC. Not unless we have a different person at the helm of IBC, apart from Wafula Chebukati, then we shall continue having these problems propping up in IEBC, and that might actually cost Kenyans another presidential elections if you're not careful, Miriam. So IEBC is a very, very critical commission, and we need to look at it with the seriousness it deserves. We should not allow Wafula Chebukati to play the kinds of ping-pong games that he's playing with the elections right now. Otherwise, it is the Kenyan people who will pay the high price if IEBC again messes up with these forthcoming elections, Miriam. I submit.
Okay, and before we get to the rest of the speech of President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, let's just look at the section that he addressed, the issue that took him to the coast, the universal healthcare. We just look at that first, and then we get to the rest of everything else President Uhuru Kenyatta spoke. President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday rolled out the universal healthcare coverage in the 47 counties. The scheme, which was piloted in Isiolo, Nyeri, Machakos, and Kisumu counties, will ensure access to essential health benefit packages, medicines, reduction of out-of-pocket expenditure, and increase in the workforce as per the World Health Organization recommendations, the government says. Now, President Kenyatta said adoption of the UHC means private hospitals would lower the cost of healthcare. Big private hospitals will also cut the cost of treatment and compete with public institutions that have been equipped and now have specialists, he said at Port Reitz Hospital in Changamwe, Mombasa County. Never again should a Kenyan suffer needlessly as be driven to poverty because of medical bills, President Kenyatta said. And he said, please register with the National Hospital Insurance Fund to benefit from UHC. We want to eradicate poverty, but that is impossible if someone from your household falls sick and you do not have the medical cover, making you to sell your property. So that is what he said. So just something that he pointed out there, that perhaps if we equip, and this is what I think we've been saying, Daniel, if we can equip make sure that our public health sector is really equipped and has everything that it should have, it will compete favorably even with the private hospitals that maybe in the long run will not see an increase of all these clinics mushrooming across the estates, trying to supplement whatever it is they feel is missing from the public health sector. I think Douglas just joined us, so perhaps he should take that question. Douglas, good morning.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to my friend Sean Wesonga, and to our crew at our headquarters in Nairobi, and our friends across the world. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, and thank you for having me on the show, Miriam.
All right. So President Kenyatta is saying never again should Kenyans be driven to poverty because of the high cost of medical, seeking treatment. So this is a good motivation.
Thank you, Miriam. We've seen the president's commitment to the same. And when we were covering the new developments that have been able to sprang up in the Nairobi city or Nairobi metropolitan area, that the president of the Republic of Kenya has been able to initiate, even after the fall of Mike Sonko, when the Nairobi Metropolitan Services came to the fore. Miriam, one of the key projects that we highlighted on this television is the healthcare investment that the President of the Republic of Kenya has made. Miriam, for the very first time, I went to slums in the city, and I found hospitals, I found equipped hospitals, I found hospitals with medical personnel and medicine, even in the middle of the night, Miriam. And this is the true development that we can be able to attest that the President of the Republic of Kenya has been able to bequeath the people of Kenya and even the next regime. And this is why, Miriam, I have said that the President of the Republic of Kenya cares about the people of Kenya. If you care about the people of Kenya, you cannot care about the people of Kenya by giving them rhetorics and also speaking from the rooftops of vehicles, like the President of the Republic of Kenya said yesterday. You cannot treat diseases like cancer. You cannot treat diseases like maternal health care, not diseases like issues like maternal health care. You cannot take care of our small babies and their mothers. Well, you are politicking daily and saying what you shall do in the next dispensation, whereas you have that opportunity to sit down in your office and also come up with the policies and also implement the same and change the lives of the people of Kenya. I'm very happy, Miriam, with what the President of the Republic of Kenya has been able to do in terms of investment in healthcare. And that's why I said yesterday, we cannot bequeath the same sectoral gains that have been made in the health sector by the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta or the Jubilee administration to people that are going to cripple the same healthcare tomorrow because they want to root that healthcare system or sector that has been able to make a lot of gains for the same medium. Another point before I conclude on this, we need to be able to, number one, prioritize the healthcare of the people of Kenya. We understand that many households before President Uhuru Kenyatta made these major sectoral gains in the healthcare sector, Miriam, we understand so many families had gone into poverty because of huge medical bills that now have been slashed almost by half or almost by 30% to 30%, 20%. But we thank the President of the Republic of Kenya and we urge him and also the people of Kenya, do not bequeath the next regime to a people or a group of people that are going to run down these gains, because we want the people of Kenya to enjoy the same. We want women in this country to enjoy Linda Mama program. We want young children, school-going children, to enjoy better healthcare without getting into the nerves of their parents and also drying their pockets for the same medium. And this is what we need in our country. And we are very happy with the sectoral gains that have been made in the healthcare sector. And we are very happy. And this is the way to go, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, indeed. So this even the World Health Organization Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus Adhanom, had something to say about the same. I think is very pleased with what Kenya is doing in the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta in terms of improving the public health sector. And World Health Organization Director General Tedros said that the agency would support UHC. Dr. Ghebreyesus praised health workers for saving countless lives during the pandemic and is quoted as saying, "I met President Uhuru Kenyatta when he announced the universal healthcare vision 4 years ago. I later joined him in Kisumu to launch it. The pandemic demonstrates the reason we need to invest in health and its workforce," Dr. Tedros says. So this is something that President Kenyatta has, thought even before the pandemic came. And when the pandemic came, we saw how the underbelly of the poor state of public health sector, especially in Africa and even abroad, was exposed. And a lot of governments, perhaps this was a good chance for them to take that challenge and improve on the public sector. I love the way President Kenyatta responded to that challenge, and knowing that this is something he had in mind even before the pandemic came, I think this is a noble cause.
Absolutely, Miriam. And of course, like I said yesterday, a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. And any particular nation that focuses on the health of its citizens is actually prioritizing and setting the preconditions for economic boom. Because remember, labor force is also a factor of production. And therefore, if you have a healthy nation, people who can be able to optimize their energy, their spirit, and also whatever is there in terms of work, then you are rest assured that the country will be able to experience economic progress and growth. That is the same thing that happened in Cuba. Cuba today is where it is because once they started getting sanctions from the West, Fidel Castro actually concentrated more on education and the healthcare system. And you realize that Cuba has one of the best doctors, the best medical practitioners in the world. And whatever they did with that particular resource is that they actually started exporting their medical staff to other parts of the country and other parts of the world rather. And it will actually earn them some income in terms of foreign exchange. And therefore also it boosted their state of health and also the labor force that was there back at home, so that they were able to be self-sufficient in production of their own goods and services back at home, with all those sanctions being heaped up upon the country. So to me, Miriam, I believe this was a noble idea. This is an idea whose African countries must actually take seriously. And as you say it, President Uhuru Kenyatta was actually one person who saw it even before the pandemic. And those who believe that perhaps President Uhuru hasn't done something for this country, then even that particular accolade from the World Health Organization Director General is actually something to remind them that these are good work. This is something that is going to change the lives of Kenyans. This is something that is actually going to cultivate a very healthy nations and therefore improve our economic standing in terms of labor force, and just creating a very, very vital and conducive environment in terms of investment. Remember, even investors cannot come to the country where we have diseases and pestilence breaking out every now and then. But if we can be able to have universal health coverage, in that the cost of healthcare is lower in Kenya, we will even have health tourism, people coming from all over Africa to get medication and treatment here in Kenya, just like it happens to India. So Miriam, this particular plan is a big four agenda. I take it and I regard it highly, more than anything else. Since independence, we've never had any government which has taken this particular sector quite seriously. You realize that our founding fathers actually talked about eradicating poverty, disease, and all the other evils of post-independence Kenya, but they have never gotten to work and being serious about focusing on implementing proper healthcare for the people of Kenya. So I believe President Uhuru Kenyatta is the first president in this republic to get serious about eradication of disease and also poverty, in essence, by making sure that he opens up the country through infrastructure. And therefore, with the opening infrastructure, actually, it creates the prerequisite conditions for movement of goods and services, which actually makes trade and industry work quite properly, and that will ensure that Kenyans are able to trade with their neighbors and earn money and some coins in their pockets. So to me, Miriam, I believe the legacy projects are the project that this country needs, and especially in the healthcare sector and also infrastructure. Those are things that are going to help us even in the coming years. So long as a firm foundation has been set, they are going to carry this country forward into the next phase of development. Miriam, I submit.
Very well, thank you so much. And now perhaps we just get into, before we get into the main topic there, which we shall in a very short bit, there's a story here, perhaps it will be nice to just, still on politics. UDA cancels party elections after putting them off 4 times. Deputy President William Ruto United Democratic Alliance has cancelled its grassroots elections After postponing them 4 times since April last year, instead the party plans to conduct the polls after the August 9th general election, despite promising that it would manage its affairs differently in order to right the wrongs of the ruling Jubilee Party. UDA seems to be copying the ways of President Uhuru Kenyatta's party, which has not conducted elections since 2016. Douglas.
Miriam, I'm very happy today that a party that was formed on falsehoods and a party that was formed on deceit, they promised to be able to bring a complete system overhaul, but they have not been able to do that. Miriam, you can't checkmate the President of the Republic of Kenya. You can't checkmate the ruling party today when you form a party that does not even go further away from the ruling party. Everything they do, they take it from the ruling party. I believe I have said it before. Sean Wesonga said it before, and so many of us have said it before, that this party, the United Democratic Alliance, is a party that has been formed on deceit and also falsehoods. And this is a party that is not going, Miriam, to cause any impact in this country. It is a party that has been formed by an hybrid political conman, a man that has been able to use the taxpayers' money without working. The president was complaining about a ghost worker yesterday. I believe, Miriam, even in your own house, you cannot have people working for you and they are earning a salary and they're not working. We need to correct that a small problem in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya in the next dispensation, so that a deputy president, if he does not work, he needs to be shown the door, because we cannot elect a deputy who is as defiant as Deputy President William Ruto. Goes out there, forms parties, goes out there, hosts delegates at his official residence when he's supposed to be working for the people of Kenya. We've seen what the President of the Republic of Kenya has done. And the Constitution, the framers of our Constitution, should forgive us and give us an opportunity to be able to correct that mess, Miriam. I think we can be able to avoid another type of a UDA, another type of a defiant man like William Ruto, if we correct that small problem about the position of deputy president, about the tenure of the deputy president's office in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Miriam, because who we are electing is a president. We are not electing another burden in the next dispensation, Miriam. We need to correct that, because at the end of the day, if two people do not agree, the Bible says if two cannot work together, if they do not agree, William Ruto decided to look for a presidential seat before the mandate and the social contract that they have with the people of Kenya is complete. It is the high time we brought back BBI, maybe in another disguise or whatever it is, so that we can be able to correct some mishaps in our constitution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Daniel Wasonga, UDA promised to do things differently, but according to the story, they're falling on the same trap, as they were supposed to be having their local grassroots elections, but they're saying that will happen after postponing after the general election. I wonder how that will work out, because I guess you need the local leadership to help in even organizing for that, even for mobilizing people even during this election. So if they don't have that, that is very interesting. So as campaigns intensify, UDA says it will be unattainable to prepare for the general election and hold its party elections at the same time. So they're doing exact same thing.
This is a briefcase party, Miriam, first of all, because it is actually not a briefcase party, but it's a party which actually is carried inside William Ruto's pocket. Who doesn't know that right now, if you want a UDA certificate, then you have to carry money all the way to Karen and be able to be assured that you're going to be given the certificate. Currently, as we are speaking, we have aspirants from Nakuru, from other parts of Mount Kenya, who actually feel disgruntled because the party leader of UDA himself has actually taken sides on who they want to be elected for governor, for senator, MCA, MP, and all those elective positions that are actually offered by the party. So whatever UDA is doing is actually running away from accountability and the audit by the Mwananchi or Qaeda or the grassroots leaders. Because once the party is able to elect grassroots officials, then these officials perhaps might not be people who have been handpicked by the party leadership in Nairobi, and therefore it is very difficult at times to compromise them. And if you compromise them, then they might go out there and spill the beans. So whatever is doing is actually going just back to its roots, roots to being run like a mafia enterprise, where the party leader is the rule, law, and the principle. So it cannot be that they're not in a position to hold their party primary grassroots elections as well as prepare for the general election. They had all this time to do that. Why didn't they do it in the right time? It is because they fear the chaos that will come with any elections. And I can assure you, Miriam, the UDA party nominations is going to be the most chaotic party nominations, because William Ruto has been taking money from all these aspirants and promising them that he's going to give them his support and the party certificate. But you realize that for one party certificate, even more than 3 people have been able to cough out some good sums of money to get the certificate. So when the day of reckoning actually comes, prepare for war and chaos in UDA party. And that is why they're even showing signs of cowardice when it comes to calling the party NDC or even the grassroots elections. Today, the structure that is there is the one that was selected and picked by William Ruto, and therefore dismantling it will actually bring more chaos. It will actually expose the dirty and the bellicose underbelly of the UDA's party favoritism and corruption of handpicking people and collecting bribes from aspirants. And that is why they're afraid. Otherwise, Miriam, any good party would want to sort first its house, fix everything that might be leaking in the house before it goes out there to conduct or maybe participate into the general election. It is very, very much important. And remember, this is a new party. It has never held even its NDC. It has never held any sensible or maybe sizable convention by its grassroots leaders to be able even to gauge its functionality. So to me, it's akin to driving maybe a journey from here to all the way to Cape Town with a car which you insist cannot be checked for mechanical issues simply because you are out of town, you are out of time. Miriam, that one is not feasible, because anyone will want to know, is this car actually, will it be able to get me even to Tanzania? Because it is a car I'm driving for the first time. It has never been checked. The engine has never been serviced. So how do you go with it in that particular state? At least ODM and Jubilee can say, for this year, we are not going to hold grassroots elections, because previously we've had these elections happening and our party structures are actually intact. But for UDA, Miriam, I think they're running away from something sinister they know. I submit.
Okay, thank you so much. And before we jump on to our main topic, there's just a story that it also is related to UDA, and now allies of Deputy President William Ruto say they want to be officially deregistered from the ruling coalition and jump to the United Democratic Alliance, but they're being frustrated by the online portal managed by the Registrar of Political Parties, which just won't allow them to change affiliation. It could be a technical hitch, but they're adamant that this is deliberate. So they're saying they want to deregister online. But from what we know, they can't resign physically, officially, whether they're members of parliament or supporters of UDA. The politicians have refused to resign from, because they changed tunes. They're in UDA, but they've refused to resign as members of Jubilee Party. But now they're crying foul because, when they go checking their details on the online portal, they find they're still members of Jubilee Party. And they have not resigned. They have not officially resigned, to allow even for elections in these places, that positions that they hold. They continue getting salaries under the Jubilee Party, but they want to be, Douglas, would you want to say something? And then we get into what President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday.
Of course, Miriam. Of course, Miriam. They all live in Nairobi. They have their members. They are members of staff who work for them. They have secretaries. They have bodyguards. They live in Nairobi, Miriam. The Registrar of Political Parties works at Ryan's Place in Westlands, and these members of parliament can tell us, even using the Nairobi Expressway, how many minutes do they require to get to Westlands? They need to go there and resign. They should actually have resigned as from last month. We don't have to have this conversation. They are writing to William Ruto because they do not know what the Jubilee Party is going to do next. Because when they resign, the Jubilee Party can decide, now these people have resigned from our party, and now we need to go and and maybe do something like a by-election in their places. And these people do not want to lose these 3 months or 4 months that are left, Miriam. And the truth of the matter is, they have been writing to William Ruto. They don't want to resign. Miriam, if they are really committed into resigning, you walk to register to Office of Registrar of Political Parties. That was what has been happening before the online photo came up. And the online photo came up about 3 months or 4 months ago. But Miriam, why can't they walk to 100 of them or 170 of them to the Office of Registrar of Political Parties, fill out the forms, sign themselves, and then take it to the registrar, and then they are registered and also registered as members of UDA. It's as simple as ABCD. These members of parliament, Miriam, do not live in their villages. They live in Nairobi. This is a lame excuse. They need to wake up today or tomorrow very early in the morning, go resign and concur with their party leader, Dr. William Ruto, who is also going to resign. We want him to go and resign as a member of Jubilee Party. And I've called on him for over 2 years now to resign as a member of Jubilee Party and register as the #1 member of the UDA Party, which he, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, purports to be their party leader, so that we can be done with this thing very early in the morning, Miriam. We do not want these baggage called members of UDA and members of the ruling party, the Jubilee Party of Kenya. We want them to resign today or tomorrow very early in the morning. They need to walk to the Office of Registrar of Political Parties and resign, Miriam. They don't have to go and resign from an online portal. And we are also asking the Registrar of Political Parties, if it's a technical itch, they need to repair to repair their systems so that they can be able to work on the same.
Douglas, how can the political how can that institution rectify that? Well, these members, on paper, they are members of Jubilee Party. They want to have their cake and eat it.
Miriam, that's what I'm saying.
Member of Jubilee, UDA, resign officially from Jubilee. Make it clear and plain.
And I'm saying, Miriam, these members of parliament, they have an option, an old school method that has been used before by myself and so many other people when we moved from one party to another. They need to go to the Office of Registrar of Political Parties and deregister as members of Jubilee Party, so that our party, the Jubilee Party of Kenya, is going, so that the party can go and take a punitive action against these defiant members who have been insulting our party for the last 4 years, so that we can separate wheat and chaff, Miriam. Thank you.
Okay, and I know Daniel wants to say something about that. Daniel, maybe quickly, one minute. They want to have their cake and eat it at the same time.
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And of course, we should tell the UDA party members that even some of us who are erroneously have been erroneously been registered under UDA, and we are unable to come out of that. But we do not blame the registrar of political parties. Ultimately, we know we shall get deregistered. I'm not saying for myself, but I know a couple of friends who have been erroneously been registered to UDA and ANC. So let them keep cool. All these shenanigans is what actually lies to them, that they have the numbers. And when you go to parliament, you get that they are being defeated in every motion that is brought before the house. So let them cool down. This is the first time they are going for presidency, and they should actually take notes for those people who have been supporting the former prime minister for all those years, because they have the experience, and this small excitement should not get them maybe to a point of disrespecting the president. The same thing with the MPs. Let them cool down. Let them know that after 9th of August, life will move on, and perhaps, by the way, it is not guaranteed that their candidate is going to be the president. Some of the Kenyans who have been following the presidential elections know how it goes, and people might actually wake up and get a shock of their lives. Yesterday, the court boss said that all trees around Sugoi area should be cut down because William Ruto might hang himself on that particular day. And that is the truth of the matter. Presidential elections are very tricky, unpredictable, and no one actually knows how the outcome might go. You might think that you have the Kenyans in your pocket and in your palm of your fingers, but when the day of the election comes, then things actually surprise you. So let them cool down, let them respect the president, and let them campaign for their candidate without insult and bravado, Miriam. I submit.
Very well. Thank you so much. And so let's just get into the topic of today. It is now time for politics, and you are going to hear from us. President Uhuru Kenyatta has declared sending a clear warning short that he is keen to influence his succession. Although the venue and event were not set for politics, the president used the launch of universal healthcare coverage at Port Reitz Hospital in Mombasa yesterday to hit out at Deputy President William Ruto and announced that he was now joining the political fray. Uhuru said that Ruto has been doing nothing but talk ill of him. And before we go further with this conversation, I'd like for us to just listen a bit of what President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday.
Let us remain focused. If there are things that are not right, that's why you're here. To help us, tell us, here we can do better, here we can do better, here we can do better. Lakini mambo ya kuongea maneno matuputupu huko, hakuna kitu unafanya. Unaenda huko, huko, kazi haifanywi juu ya gari, inafanywa kwa maofisi, kwa mahospitali. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Kazi inafanywa huko hospitali. Nasa haendi huko kusimama kupiga mtu. Unajua mimi leo nimefanya, anaingia ICU, anaingia ward, anaingia theater. Nakwambia jameni, hii dunia yetu ya Kenya tutaona mengi. Lakini ni sawa tu. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, it is now my distinct.
All right, thank you so much. Just a part of what President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday, and he had so much to say, so Douglas Kirimi, perhaps your reaction to that, to what President Uhuru Kenyatta said on that clip.
Miriam, I've been complaining that the President of the Republic of Kenya is not speaking over the excessive of William Ruto. Some people thought maybe Douglas is feeling bad that he is not the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. But it turns out that the President of the Republic of Kenya was working, and we can see his work. He has said that the Jubilee Party, the ruling party, has a track record to show, and they have been working. And now the time to politic has come, and he's going to tell the people of Kenya the truth. And we are also waiting to hear what happened between the Deputy President William Ruto and the President. And actually, if he doesn't even tell us, we have seen a defiant, a man that does not work, a ghost worker who is still receiving government protection, receiving allowances, and receiving huge packs from government. And this is the same man who goes out there to insult the President of the Republic of Kenya, and a man that actually had an handshake with the President and brought peace to this country, a man that has always thrived on the very proxies that have been stealing from the people of Kenya, that he has been a mastermind of the same. Miriam, it is said that before the handshake, that Deputy President William Ruto would arrive at Harambee Annex at 5 a.m. in the morning to continue routing and also calling procurement officers. He knew from the senior procurement officers to junior procurement officers, and they dreaded receiving his score. And a time has come for the people of Kenya to be told the truth that their Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, is a ghost worker, a man that doesn't work, a man who receives huge government packs, huge security apparatus that is at his disposal, and a man who has used government resources to campaign for a political seat, an individual political ambition contrary to the oath that he took to defend and also protect the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya as he works for the people of Kenya. Miriam, I have said before, the very personal and individual ambition of Dr. William Ruto cannot be purported to be an ambition of the millions of Kenyans who are starving, millions of Kenyans who have no proper health care, millions of Kenyans who need roads, millions of Kenyans who need railway lines to be connected to their villages and towns and cities. Miriam, at the end of the day, the same William Ruto, who has been insulting the President of the Republic of Kenya, has been taking credit of what the President has been doing. Miriam, honestly, this is a man who would wake up at around 8 a.m. in the morning. He is in Roysambu politicking when the President of the Republic of Kenya is working at State House. This is a man that would be 9 a.m. He is in Meru politicking. At 12, he is in Vihiga. In the afternoon, at 4 p.m., is in Mombasa politicking. This is a man that has refused to work for the last 4 years, but he wants to tell people, you can entrust me with the presidency. Please, People of Kenya, listen to the President of the Republic of Kenya. He's been working, he has come out to tell you that my deputy has been a defiant deputy president. And this is why I'm saying, Miriam, we should bring back the BBI so that we can correct, at least, even if it's nothing else, we can correct that small mess-up so that we cannot have two people, one with an individual ambition to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, and when the other one has already the mandate and the social contract from the people of Kenya, can go out there and work for the people of Kenya. So that, Miriam, would not have such kind of a scenario in future. We want to tame this kind of behavior in the next regime, and even the next deputy president of the Republic of Kenya who comes after William Ruto, because William Ruto is no longer going to become the big man again. Miriam, we are asking them to be forewarned that they should be working for the people of Kenya and delivering. Because, Miriam, we should not be talking about this honestly. It is so disgusting that a man who has been using government resources and also our taxes to feed the pastors in Karen to pray for him to become a president. Individual ambition. This is not the collective responsibility or collective ambition or aspiration of the people of Kenya. It is the ambition of William Ruto to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. But I said, if he wins on 9th of August 2022, Miriam, he is going to become a public officer. And now his public ambition, his ambition will become a public office that is run by an individual known as William Ruto, who will be the end of state and government. But as of now, the only president we have in this republic is Dr. Uhuru Kenyatta, and William Ruto, the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, has no right to go out there and claim what the president has been doing, whereas he has been a ghost worker. This is a ghost worker, Miriam.
Okay. Very well, thank you. And we know that the deputy president and his allies, Daniel, have been accused the president, or even have complained that since the handshake, nothing much has been done, and that perhaps has derailed the implementation of the agenda they had on their second term. But we also know, because it's on record, President Uhuru Kenyatta saying, hey, can we stop with the politicking? Let's first deliver, to the people of Kenya what we promised. President Kenyatta literally pleaded. I remember him pleading literally, can we cut off the politics and just get into work? And when the time for politics comes, we will do that. But for right now, let's deliver our promises to Kenyans. President Kenyatta is on record, saying that. And so he seems to have heard it with his deputy. From what he's told me yesterday, he's heard it.
Miriam, time of reckoning has come for the ghost worker of Kamagut, and there is no way out for William Ruto. He can run, but he can never hide from the reality. And now, like President Uhuru Kenyatta said yesterday, let the time for politicking now begin. And he's gonna know the substance and the real skin of President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Uhuru Kenyatta is not just your novice politician like Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wah, Moses Kuria. This is a man who has been in this particular field since his early heydays when he was a young man, when Moi introduced him into politics. And he actually went for presidency when he was younger than William Ruto, the current age. And he actually was able to garner a substantial amount of votes, and he traversed the country quite greatly during that particular time, something that William Ruto is doing almost 15 years after that. So to me, Miriam, I believe, let William Ruto sit pretty back and wait to see the fireworks that are going to happen before his own eyes. And Douglas has put it quite clearly. This is a man who has been taking much of his time instead of serving the people of Kenya, directing his energies to actually premature early campaigns. And even you are to ask someone who is in Kenya right now today, Miriam, it is some few minutes to maybe some few hours to midday. But whatever we know is that William Ruto has already conducted maybe 2 or 3 public rallies wherever he is. And this is a public servant who is expected to be at Harambee House Annex, who may be someone even here in Nairobi or maybe outside the country who will be maybe looking forward to meet and be able to get services from him as the deputy president. But he's nowhere to be found in his office, simply because the president actually had a handshake with the former prime minister in an effort to bring peace and tranquility to this country. And by doing so, also the president ensured that we do not have people who are looting this country dry from the office of the deputy president. Therefore, he has seconded the duties he had as the deputy president, and he has embarked on a premature 2022 presidential campaign. Miriam, that is the highest level of impunity that we can have as a country. That is the highest kind of negligence that we can ever see from a sitting deputy president of this country. And I believe in history of Kenya, we've never had a deputy president or a vice president, so to say, in the old constitution, who has been so much errand more than William Ruto, in that to a point that he goes out there to barrage his boss, the president, in the full glare of cameras, where the sun is shining in the day of light, Miriam. He talks ill of his boss and he calls him a conman and a mkora. I think that is unforgivable. If it was Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, or even Mwai Kibaki, or even Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, I don't believe William Ruto will have had the next day in office. But because of the magnanimity of President Uhuru Kenyatta, today he's still serving. He's still standing on the roof of the vehicles which have been provided for by the Kenyan government to insult the same government. He's still, like Douglas says, using the same project that President Uhuru Kenyatta has implemented across the country to drum up support for his own presidential bid. And therefore, Miriam, this ghost worker is not only a ghost worker, but he also steals even the projects of his friend to go and use it to campaign for his own selfish interests. So to me, he's actually stealing double from the people of Kenya, because one, he's stealing from the public coffers. Two, he's actually stealing by actually taking advantage of the projects that have been implemented by somebody else, and also getting a salary from the same government, Miriam. I think it is evil, and it is not to be accepted by any other authority in this world, Miriam, where a deputy president who is still in government still talks like an opposition leader and actually attacks his boss, and nothing is done to him. I think, Miriam, let us start the politics this particular year, this particular month, as President Uhuru Kenyatta promised, and you're gonna see how William Ruto is going to be boxed into submission very soon. And there's no guarantee that he's going to be the president of Kenya. And even his support in Mount Kenya region. Let President Uhuru Kenyatta start moving around, and you'll see how his support will plummet in the central part of the country, because he has disrespected President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he thought that perhaps by declaring himself the kingpin of Mount Kenya, it's going to have a big impact on the voting behavior of the bloc. He'll be very surprised, Miriam. And let me assure him that if he becomes the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, then perhaps, Miriam, it will have been proven that the pigs can also fly in this world. I submit.
All right. Okay. Pigs can also fly. It's quite deep there. Douglas, from what I had President Uhuru Kenyatta expressing is that, and I think Daniel Wasonga has talked about it, you abscond duty, you refuse to report to your desk, you refuse to work, but still you have the audacity to go out there and complain about things that you're saying are not being accomplished, and yet you're refusing to work. You have not been working, and we've been paying you and taking care of you. Quite oxymoronic. And even as you respond to that, Oscar Sudi, member of Kapseret, member of Parliament of Kapseret, had his own response to President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday. What do you make of that?
Miriam, I have a very huge problem, because we've said about a year ago in 2021, in the beginning of 2021, we said here that, Miriam, it is absurdity to go on and claim that we have built roads, we've brought SGR, we've brought water, we've brought electricity, we've brought secondary education, we've brought maternal health care, we've done this and we have done this, when it is convenient for you to do so. And when you get to areas that when it is not convenient for you to say so, you start telling us that the next administration is going to invest in the poor people, is going to invest in Mama Mpoka and all that other shenanigans, Miriam, and other short force stories. We need to be able to demystify the rise of the Deputy President William Ruto has been saying to the people of Kenya. And actually, I'm very grateful to God that before the President of the Republic of Kenya came to the fore and said that, Rukia guys, this is what he has been doing and all that, I've been working around. But we've said before that this is a ghost worker who has been using government resources or the allocation in his office to continue furthering a selfish political ambition, individual political ambition to become the president of the Republic of Kenya, while serving under a social contract and a mandate that was given by the people of Kenya 2 times in 2017. And remember, Miriam, this has been a deputy president for over 9 years, Miriam. with no record to show, with nothing to show. Remember, the first term of President Uhuru Kenyatta has been marked with a lot of corruption cases and all. Remember, that's when the Aurora and Kimorel dams and other short corruption stories happened in this country. Remember, Miriam, it is under the same period of time. Deputy President William Ruto was reputed to become a very, very, very rich billionaire. Now, a man that has gone out of his way to be able to destroy the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta for the last 4 years. And remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta himself said that he has done so much in 4 years' time when he has been able to have an handshake with the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And Miriam, we have to give it up to President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has turned this country upside down in all sectors. He's been able to work on electricity, work on roads, particularly roads, healthcare, and also, Miriam, make sure that the name of this country is mentioned when it matters in terms of diplomacy and other continental duties that he has been able to undertake for and behalf of our welfare and public good as a nation. Remember, for William Ruto and also his allies like Oscar Sudi to go on and respond to President Uhuru Kenyatta, Miriam, it is in public domain that the President of the Republic of Kenya has been working alone. He has said it before. Remember, the allies of William Ruto, the Rangata MP, Nixon Koril, are the same people who stole the Uhuru Gardens land that was reclaimed by the help of President Uhuru Kenyatta when he went there in a military Land Rover and recovered that land. And now he has built a very nice National Heroes Museum and reclaiming many pieces of land in this country that has been taken over by people who thought that they can be able to go over and sit on the very faces of the people of Kenya, who have been able to give them a mandate all over the country, maybe as members of parliament, governors, and also as a deputy president when they voted for him and President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's why, Miriam, I'm saying we need to correct this small mishap. We need to correct this small problem, because at the end of the day, we are going to have a huge problem in this country if in the next dispensation we have another William Ruto backed by functionally illiterate people like Oscar Sudi, who are going to bring this country down, Miriam. Because at the end of the day, William Ruto, apart from waking up and receiving delegations in Karen and waking up and running around the country, flying in choppers, whose bills are paid or also billed to the government of the Republic of Kenya, what else has he been able to do, Miriam? What has William Ruto been able to do for this country, Miriam? We need to be able to tell the truth, and the president has come out and he needs to tell the people that this is a man that is not worth electing. And people should also focus on the achievement of President Uhuru Kenyatta when he was with William Ruto and when he was around, working from 2018 to 2022. Miriam, as I submit my point, I have no guidance for William Ruto and his allies. They know that their time is near. For the last 3 years, they have not been able to steal much, because, Miriam, every loophole has been able to be sealed off. And Miriam, look at what they have been able to do to our economy. Even institutions of higher learning like Moi University and Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret, they have been able to run down these places. And when people in Karemeno Dam in Kiambu are receiving water, when people in Dwake, in Ukambani region are receiving water from their dams, people in Aurora and Kimorel village, where William Ruto and Eregio Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen call themselves regional leaders, are still serving. And when it is going to rain again, Miriam, this coming in the next 2 months, Miriam, we are going to be suffering floods in Aurora and Kimorel areas, because these people stole money that was meant for dams, and they are moving around here, Miriam, with a lot of bitterness, and now they want to spoil the party for everyone, because their party was spoiled. And also in 2018, remember, Miriam, we've had a president who has been working and a deputy president who has not been working for the people of Kenya. He's been looking for a job to be president for the last 4 years. I think it is honest enough for him to resign from Jubilee Party now immediately, and also relinquish his position as a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, so that we can have another deputy president even for the next 6 months. He can work for 3 months or 4 months, Miriam. Then we go to the general elections, Miriam. This is a ghost worker, Miriam, an hybrid ghost worker.
Okay, I think he has up to the 26th of March. I think that's where a lot of UDA allied members of parliament from Jubilee Party intend to, resign officially and leave the Jubilee Party, because, after that, IBC cannot afford to organized around the by-elections. So they're being calculative in their moves, and perhaps Deputy President is expected to resign then, I don't know. But this is what President Kenyatta said, Daniel, as we conclude this conversation. They keep saying there is no work being done. They keep telling me that Jubilee Party is dead. I understand. I sought votes to work for Kenyans. Jubilee has been working, and you can witness from the infrastructure projects like Ndogo Kundu bypass. He said, and added that he had no problem with anyone's political ambitions. I won't tire to campaign for Jubilee and tell them to vote for Jubilee, and as we partner and work with the likes of Joho, he said. And President Kenyatta yesterday, and of course, as you respond to that, the doublespeak President Kenyatta is pointing out, especially from his deputy president, he usually speaks and says whatever he says conveniently, depending on where he is campaigning. So if he goes to another part of the country, we've done this. When he goes to another part of the country, Jubilee have achieved absolutely nothing. Forget the fact that he's not even been working himself, and even President Kenyatta pointed out yesterday. And then Oscar Sudi had his own manner of response yesterday. As we conclude the show, with Songa.
Yes, thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, William Ruto has been, for the longest, using the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta as a tool of his own presidential campaigns. And even as we've been having people like Musalia of recent going around and telling people that President Uhuru Kenyatta has not delivered, the country is debt-ridden, and also we are not getting returns for the monies that are being borrowed. William Ruto has been speaking a different language, and actually that makes the Kenya Kwanza coalition quite coordinated, and I think there's a breakdown in how they actually communicate their messages to their voters. Because on one podium, Musalia Mudavadi says the Jubilee government has not worked. On the second instance, William Ruto comes on and actually enumerates the number of projects that have been undertaken by what he calls his government and President Uhuru Kenyatta. So to me, I believe that is the height of hypocrisy that we have in Kenya. When you go to a certain place, because it favors you, you want to enumerate the projects that have been done, not by yourself, not by the government that you actually serve, but the partner that you had on the presidential ticket, who is actually doing all the donkey work for you, and then you go ahead to take benefit of these particular projects. But while you go to other sections of the country, you actually want to paint his name in bad light and actually derail his government. That is what UDA is doing. And if I were President Uhuru Kenyatta by there, I wouldn't even allow such individuals to take credit of whatever legacy projects that I have. But President Uhuru Kenyatta has never come out and actually told William Ruto, for example, stop talking about these particular projects because you did not actually, you are not the one who undertook them. But the president has been focusing on work. He has been focusing on implementing whatever is important for Kenyans. And Miriam, all I can say, let us give credit where it's due, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has done a pretty good job. And if anything is to go by, then William Ruto has also accepted that the president has done a good job. Otherwise, he wouldn't have anything to campaign based on the legacy or maybe the 10-year term that they have been able to run with the President Uhuru Kenyatta. So that means that the government of the day has actually delivered. And whatever contrary opinion that he will hold against President Uhuru Kenyatta is actually for political expediency and his own selfish interests. So let him respect the president, but also let him acknowledge that the president has really done a good job in that he has given him some of the key campaign items that he's using in terms of infrastructure and other developments of the Jubilee party government. And that is the reality of the matter, Miriam. So when you see people like Musalia actually also rubbishing the legacy of the president, you really wonder if these people actually have a common agenda, or they are just together because maybe they feel disgruntled about President Uhuru Kenyatta or maybe Raila Odinga. So to me, I think, Miriam, that is the height of hypocrisy. And William Ruto should be honest to the people of Kenya. And when he mentions these projects, he should actually also mention that it is President Uhuru Kenyatta who actually commissioned them and actually was the patron who made sure they were completed. And he was nowhere, William Ruto himself was nowhere to be seen. I submit.
Okay. We have to come to the end of the show because we have to give way to the next show, and we do not get time to talk about the Azimio blooded member of parliament who yesterday, in a UDA rally, got to tell people to support Azimio La Umoja, but that is a conversation for next time. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Kenya and Africa at a glance. We will give way to our next show. Don't go too far. We shall be right back.